Internet, hello you absolute lovelies. Let's talk all about Stranger Things Season 5, Episode 6, an episode about coming together. We had so many characters reunite this episode. We also had, I think, maybe the closest confirmation of what the Upside Down actually is, which was more of an ellipses than a period, but we got the beginning of the tease of not just the Upside Down, but also the end. We are almost at the end of the season. We are almost at the end of this series, and I love that this episode brought a lot of characters back together before we're in the end game. Now, if you're new to this page, I cover movies, I cover comics, I cover TV. I've been covering this show, enjoying the hell out of it, reviewing each and every episode, not just the chunks, but each episode. So, if you like movies, if you like comics, if you like genre content, if you like nerdy stuff, please hit that subscription bell. Also, please like this video. It helps the algorithm. And most of all, I'd love to hear your thoughts. I've really enjoyed sharing this season of Stranger Things with people. I covered Season 4 as like one big review. Season 5 I've been really digging, actually diving into. So please let me know your comments on Episode 6 or 5 or whatever down below. Let's talk about 6, though, right here. Episode 6, I think, did a really good job showing us how much we care about certain pairs. Like, this show is about relationships. This show is about people coming together. It's a big ensemble, but it's also like a show about love in a lot of ways. And we got to have Hopper and Joyce reunite. We got to have Eleven and Mike reunite. We got to have, obviously, an incredible, insane, not come back together scene of the only actual, I think, in real life couple that was so heartbreaking, and an unproposal happened. We got to see the insane Maya Hawke get to reunite with her lover, Vicky, and that, all of that serving the greater story of people coming together through dimensions, through whatever you're going to call it, through the mind of Vecna back into our world, getting Max almost back together, and obviously heroic Holly almost coming back as well with that insane cliffhanger. But I love the coming back together concept and how well this episode played it through. And I really love that Nancy and I forget his name, I'm so sorry, but Nancy and the other buyers. That scene was so beautiful because it was cold in its coloring, it was cold in the environment, it was sloppy, it was dripping cold, it was doing all of those things, and it was intercut with another of our favorite couples, the incredible platonic duo of Dustin and Steve, who are like these legitimate brothers through the story, who have been at odds together. They're coming together as the Byers and Nancy separate, and I really think it was really dynamic storytelling with the warmth of their reuniting over the trauma of losing Eddie and the trauma that Dustin's went through, with the trauma kind of breaking apart the Nancy duo. And the scene itself was, like I was saying, like so cold, so subdued. It was very frigid. Like even the sloppiness felt cold, like the room felt cold. But the acting there, the performances, I was really impressed. I didn't quite, I didn't well up this episode. I didn't quite feel the connections to the level I'm sure a lot of people did. That's on me. I struggled to cry. It's not a thing I want to be able to. I just can't. But I really loved that the relationship they have in real life felt to a point reflected, and I like that they kind of inverted it. Instead of them getting together, instead of the proposal, sometimes relationships aren't meant to last forever. Sometimes the weight of that ring, it was like, why aren't they getting along? Why aren't they vibing? And I love that it wasn't because of Steve. I love that that was called out immediately. So the highlight of this episode to me was them on the table and the coldness, but the realisticness of the dialogue, of the relationship, of how it all went down. I really think that was some of the better writing in the episode. And I also love that juxtaposed with my favorite duo, Steve and Dustin. The pain we felt for them, the physical fight we had, all of that coming to a head, and like the pain of seeing them not get along and understanding where they're both coming from. They both feel betrayed, they both feel hurt, they know how to push each other's buttons. But to see Steve not only be wrong, and he would have been killed by the latter, and that whole moment of like, he's always right, he's always headstrong going forward, but also Dustin admitting he was wrong, and like admitting that, he doesn't know how to handle what happened to Eddie, and like not wanting to lose Steve and all that stuff. And those two things cutting back and forth was delightful. At the beginning of the episode, we obviously got some reuniting with Joyce and Hopper. Great to see them back together. I personally have always thought Mike and Eleven were going to end up together. Maybe it's going to be Mike and Will. I don't know, but I love seeing that together. Very intrigued by some of the things that 8 had to say. We found out in the last episode how integral Henry / Vecna was to the emergence of these number kids. And 8 seemingly saying like, we're messed up no matter what. And there's a lot of like mystery she's alluding to, which made this episode very interesting. Really cool to see 8 have this important of a role in this act. And then the big moment of not relationship, couple, duo lore between those different sets of duos and couples. We'll talk about my Hawk territory in a second. But the moment where Dustin talks about the Upside Down, and he says it's been not what they thought this whole time, not what we thought as an audience, not what they thought in the thing, that it's a wormhole between worlds. We see Eisenstein-Rosenberg bridges in so many bits of pop culture. It's used to teleport, it's used for time travel, it's used as a portal, it's used for all these things, but it's like an end-to-end wormhole, right? Like, think Donnie Darko. It's all about the vector pulling you forward. It's all about like the ship's turbine falling through and just landing in that world, right? Like, that's one way to use that, but we don't usually live in it. It's usually about the ends of it, but rarely are we in the hose of the fire hose. Really interesting, the Upside Down might turn out to be that. Also, really love that they call out the theory of like them all being dead, them being ghosts, them being in the Upside Down and being dead. I like that they kind of just looked at, one of the fan theories from season 1 and went, nah. So I really am intrigued by this Upside Down as a wormhole idea. And it was really cool to also get a very linear explanation of what's going on in Vecna's mind. The trance idea of the coma, dug that. The idea that they're all in Vecna's mind in different forms, whether it's Holly or Max, and how Will needs to be found because he's in a different part of Vecna's mind. All of those things being in a state of like catatonic or sleep. I thought that was really interesting, and using the vinyl. And of course, all of the Kate Bush, which brings us to the end, or the resolution of the episode. Kate Bush being this great through line from the last season. Obviously, that became like one of the biggest songs of the year 2 years ago. But it's become such a thing with Max and pulling her forward. I love that not only did they acknowledge it helping, but it not being necessary. It's Lucas that matters. And I do like the use of the song as like a trigger to pull her, as like a beacon. And I like that they had a conversation about it in real time, like Kate Bush existing canonically and also the song. But I thought it was really beautiful to have Heroic Holly be self-embodied and using Mike's love for her and the little figurine and her becoming her own woman, kid, girl, whatever, becoming her own entity in that belief in herself and in her brother caring about her and in the D&D sense of heroism and her being heroic this whole season. That whole speech between the two of them was really beautiful. Probably my second favorite scene in the episode. And I really like, and then Dustin and Steve might be tied for a second actually. But anyway, I really love that duo, and they were great this season so far. Really loved how much Max cared that she's delaying leaving to make sure Holly's okay, and then it popping up so she's going to be okay, and them splitting in the running. It was a good cliffhanger, but I really wish we got to see Lucas and her reunite, which is obviously about to happen in this next episode as soon as I'm done filming this. It just really accomplished a lot. So I am curious where we go with 11 and 8, what's going on there. I am really curious what happens with Joyce and her blaming herself for Will, because we had that, entire seasons of her not letting Will do anything and trying to be an overbearing parent, and then we finally got her like all gusto, like, you got this, do it, and then he gets horribly hurt. So now obviously she's completely regressed the other way and then some, and now she has validation for that fear. So I'm really curious what happens with her here. Lots of things to happen in this last episode, this block, as well as obviously the big finale on New Year's Eve. So big old cliffhanger kind of this episode with everyone about to reunite or break apart. Lots of things to have us all get back together on regular Earth in regular Hawkins. I also forgot to mention last episode, I really love that the Hawkins Tower, which is in lots of the iconography of Hawkins, there's lots of memorabilia that features the radio tower. I love that. I thought that was just going to be the radio stuff they've done with Maya Hawke's character, and I really like her relationship with Vicky. That was all really cute. But because we got to feel the insanity of what's happening, and the world split in 4, but even still what you're saying is crazy. I like the eye line of Vicky, and then all of that was fun. But I like that even beyond the iconography and the work of working at a radio tower, that stuff, that the radio tower is still important. I think it's going to come up in the finale. I love seeing it for electricity and to take on the Demogorgons last episode. I'm curious. We saw Demo Dogs explode this episode, but I'm really curious if the tower itself is going to be used for portals between worlds, whether it's Vecna's mind and Hawkins, whether it's the Upside Down Hawkins, whether it's any number of things. I feel like the tower is going to be important again, and I like how it's been used so far. This episode didn't hit for me quite as much as the last one. The last one was one of my favorites of the season. This one was like good, but I didn't have the same, like, oh my god, it was a good episode, but not quite the same highs as last week, which was crazy, but that's because I think it was the calm before the storm. I think this third episode of this block, which is episode 7, is going to be bananas and then on a huge cliffhanger, so we're just waiting for the 6 days until New Year's Eve, and that's going to be pure madness. So I think this had to be kind of the eye of the hurricane, and now it's about to be pure like, pedal to the metal, like high octane gas until we get to the series finale on New Year's Eve. So, love to know what you thought of this episode. I'd love to know what you thought of all of the people reuniting. I'd love to know what you thought of the breakup scene. I'm so sorry I forgot Mr. Byers, that isn't Mike, that is dating Nancy. I forgot his name, and it's not coming back to me. I'm sorry, Almost Norman Reedus. You're a good actor. I liked you in New Mutants. No one else saw it, but I did, and I liked it. I'm sorry. But I'd love to know your comments down below. I'd love to know what you think of each of these duos. I'd love to know what you think of all of this entourage, ensemble, cast coming together and how well they're juggling all these different plot lines, and what you think of the potentiality of the Upside Down being a wormhole itself, the actual wormhole, the actual Eisenstein-Rosenberg bridge. Let me know what you think of those theories and those couples and all those cute things, and what you thought of the Dustin and Steve reuniting and those dudes forgiving each other to a point, and how the trauma has brought them together after breaking them apart. Love to know just your thoughts. Let me know in the comments below. Please subscribe to find out what I think of the next episode. That is going to air in the morning because it is currently late where I am, and I want to have a little Christmas dinner, and then I'm probably going to watch this late and then review it late and then post it early. So expect it bright and early in the morning. Please stay tuned. If it's not already up, maybe I changed my mind, but probably in the morning. So keep an eye out for that. Hit that subscription bell. Leave a comment below. Press a bunch of buttons. I appreciate you for watching, and I will see you for Stranger Things Season 6, Episode 7 very soon, if not now. All right, appreciate you.